Welcome back, everyone. This is Mr. Brain, your friendly neighborhood gaming dad, and it came. It finally came. Archipelago Raid is set to start for a lot of regions, if not all of them, next week. It has its own set of rewards, and it will be replacing Island Raid. Don't know if that's going to be for the foreseeable future. However, for us, Island Raid is locked. So, this may be a replacement to Island Raid for the time being, or it may just take over for once every other time kind of thing. Either way, we finally get to see what all Archipelago Raid is about. Now, you've already seen me talk about this page in another video. I will pin it in the video. Let's look at the other ones. First of all, we have new battlefield elements. In Archipelago Raid, commanders will form legions to participate in battle, with each legion consisting of 2 to 5 alliances. To ensure a balanced competition, the system will automatically allocate alliances to legions. Okay, the system's not been the greatest at that lately, so I'm very concerned about that moving forward. Granted, as long as it's better than the hand-picked matchups that have been in the top 5 regions in Island and in Darkseal, I'm fine with that. But this 2 to 5 alliances here is very interesting. I guess with alliances that don't have as many people versus power, they will get paired up with other like alliances, so you'll have 5 small alliances versus 2 large ones. I think maybe that's the intent here, but as long as the matchmaking makes it semi-fair, I'm fine with it. I just know 2 large, well-built alliances will beat 5 small alliances if there are not enough Tier 5 and Tier 6 players in the 5 alliances. So, hopefully they address that issue. Legion features shared rally. Legion members can join any rally of their legion. Awesome. So, the alliances are completely together the entire time. Multiple rallies. Members of the same legion can launch multiple rallies on the same building, but each alliance can only launch 1 rally. Okay, that puts the 2 alliances at a severe disadvantage. Because if everyone can join multiple rallies, 5 small alliances can fill 5 rallies on the same target if there's enough cohesion between those alliances. But the 2 alliances can only launch 2. Shared garrison and aid. Legion members can mutually garrison and aid each other. Again, that makes the defense fair, but the offense is going to be very interesting. Shared building construction. Alliance buildings within the Legion are constructed by various alliances, but all Legion members can join the construction team. Awesome. So if we can build multiple things at once, and there should be no legion that isn't building constantly. That being said, that is going to present an interesting conundrum for those mid-tier alliances that don't have full sets of Tier 6. If they're paired with other alliances in the same situation, they might want to work together to have Tier 6 building troops ready to go at the very beginning, so that they can build just a little bit faster. Shared Legion territory buffs. Is it going to pick the best alliance's territory buffs? Or is it saying, oh, this alliance has this buff, that alliance has that buff, and as long as you're in this alliance's territory, you have their buffs, that alliance's territory, their buffs? Would create some interesting power dynamics between the alliances. Shared capture. Legion members share the rewards and buffs obtained from capture. So, if the red ships capture a point on the map, everybody else should get the rewards for that, even if they didn't help. New monsters. Armored scavengers respawn at specific locations, dropping alliance building materials upon defeat. They cannot be rallied against or defeated by using multiple waves of squads. I hope that's a typo, because the whole point, if these are anything like the armored zombies around like the level 6, 7, and 8 outposts, those things can get pretty tough, and it's nice to be able to share rewards on those. However, if only one person is allowed to attack them, that definitely slows things down. So that might be something left to the weaker members of your alliance if they're within reason for them to kill, while everybody else focuses on, building and killing. There are 2 types of resource nodes on the Archipelago map, both of which produce Alliance building materials to construct Pioneer Towers. The resource nodes on the Archipelago map produce a small amount of Alliance building materials. The new base warehouse, which can produce food, wood, steel, or oil, and a large amount of Alliance building materials. So, a lot of building materials, some resources, a lot of resources, some building materials. So, they're trying to make it so that you can speed up your own construction by focusing on building materials versus resources. Now, when I read this in the updates, I was interested about this because checkpoints mean that they are huge maps. Because if you look at our own map, that's what these are, checkpoints. If they're this big, say it's only about half this size, and you're locked in an area about this small, you're looking at, I'm going to guess, somewhere around 20 alliances fighting for this space, and they're going to be locked out by different checkpoints to prevent them from fighting each other too soon, or to create a safe space for weaker members of the alliance, which, if it's making a safe space, wonderful. I'm all for it, because the weaker members of your alliance want to be able to participate when they're able to, without worrying about dying. And if they can do that, you've brought a lot more interested players into the game. Level 4 are exclusive to each legion, allowing only designated legion members to pass through them or capture them. So, locked to legions. When not available or not captured, any legion squads are able to pass through level 5 and level 6s. However, when it's captured, only you're allowed. So, you can march all the way over to the other side of the map, so long as none of the checkpoints in the way are captured. If the enemy has captured theirs, they've created a safe haven behind that checkpoint that you can't have access to until you beat the checkpoint. I love this already. Rules. In the treasure left on Coco Island, the survivors discovered a map that pointed blah 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 blah. I'm not going to read that. Once the event starts, the registration period begins. Eligible alliances can register to take part. After registration, matching period. Allocate opponents based on overall might of all registered alliance. The lower the individual might within the alliance, the less impact on the matching result. Okay, individual might plays a big part in this. After the matching period ends, battle period. Comprises of 2 stages. Members of successfully matched alliances can enter the battlefield through the interface. Alliances that did not participate in registration can watch the battle through the interface. Cool, so we can watch it. After the event starts, the top 5 alliances will qualify for registration. So, this is already limited to the top 5 alliances in your region. Alliance leader in R4 can register. Number of active members has to be over 50, and active members is defined as anyone who's logged out within 3 days before the registration time. List of participating members are locked, I assume, by this requirement here. If the commander is not a participating member or is not in a registered alliance, they won't be able to enter the battlefield. So if you don't log in within 3 days, or say maybe the R4 or leader can say you're not allowed in, you won't be able to join, even if your alliance is in it. The following situations also prevent entry. These are all ones we've done before. You can't have your squads out, can't be in battlefield. You can't have other people in your shelter, can't be below level 11, and can't be in the restricted stage of relaxed immigration. Divided in 2 stages. At the end of stage 1, the legion that captures any treasure city wins. All members of Winning Legion will be ranked based on their accumulated individual points. So, if you didn't participate, you don't get a lot of rewards. If you participated and your Legion lost, I imagine it's still better than doing nothing, but the point is, you want to help your Legion win. At the end of Stage 2, the faction that captures all treasure cities wins. So, all of them? I'm going to be happy to see the map to this, but all of them? So your Legion has to beat every other Legion and take their treasure cities. That's going to be interesting. That's like instead of just taking the level 8, that's requiring them to take all 4 level 7s, which is difficult to do. But you have help. Alliance Watchtowers are Pioneer Watchtowers. Okay. Can be obtained resource nodes, armored scavengers, and defeating squads transporting building materials. So, meaning if you're moving Alliance building materials from the map, either from resource nodes or armored scavengers, you can be killed on the map and your Alliance building materials taken from you. Noted. Construction limit is fixed and not affected by other factors. Watchtowers built on the battlefield are not included in Watchtower count of the region. Duh. Cost reduction, speed buff, garrison limit buff, and durability buff do affect the Watchtowers. So keep that in mind. Take note, once it's registered, can't withdraw. So you've already screwed the matchmaking by registering and not participating. So I would apologize to the Legion that you're a part of because you've essentially ruined their chances. System assigns each alliance to a Legion, and this assignment cannot be manually changed. You're stuck with it. And I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I was worried about alliances between legions being made, but if the rule of the game is to capture all treasure cities, it kind of prevents that for the most part. Please check your mail and confirm registered alliance. You won't be able to enter battlefield if you're not in a registered alliance. In the battlefield, you're not allowed to relocate between unconnected checkpoints. The determination of connectivity is based on the Legion. In the battlefield, relocators are affected by Alliance territory will instead be affected by Legion territory. So specific newcomer territory and Alliance relocators can be used to move between points of Legion territory. I imagine this means it doesn't matter what alliance they're a part of. At the end of Stage 1, factions will be decided based on the capture of treasure cities and towers. Legions that capture the designated treasure city will be directly assigned to the corresponding faction. Capturing designated towers will increase the affiliation of the corresponding faction. Among the remaining Legion, those with the highest affiliation with Westwood will be assigned to the Westwood faction. Similarly, those with the highest affiliation with East Bay will be assigned to the East Bay faction. So, that changes things. It appears there are 2 affiliations after legions are made. If your legion in Phase 1, so it looks like this might be a 1v1 twice. And bear with me, I will definitely be streaming this. Stage 1, if you capture your treasure city, you win your side of the map, so to speak. Let's get a better picture. Let's imagine this big old map here is split in half. It is split in quarters. You'll have Legion, 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 Legion. These 2 will duke it out over a treasure city in the middle. These 2 will duke it out over a treasure city in the middle for Phase 1. And then Phase 2 will be this side versus this side for the opposing side's treasure city. That'd be my guess. I need to see a map to know this for certain. But that would be a lot of fun, honestly. Members of the battlefield can't leave the alliance or be dismissed. Blah, blah, blah. Need a relocator to leave the battlefield. Will remain 12 hours after the events before being destroyed. Exiting won't consume relocators. Kind of standard stuff. Back alley doctor's request. Can't summon more than 1. Progress in the Archipelago Raid and original area are interconnected, so you can do it while in Archipelago Raid. Antpeed hunt can be done during Archipelago Raid, but you have to dismantle it in your old region and put it in the Archipelago Raid map. Don't recommend doing either of these unless you're fully prepared for them. You may lose rewards for certain events if you evacuate the battlefield before defeating them. With that being said, that's Archipelago Raid. I'm excited. Starts looks like the registration period starts for it on Sunday, and if I had to guess, it won't be until Wednesday or Thursday this thing actually kicks off. Similar to Island Raid. I'll be curious how long it lasts and how intense it's going to be, because we just saw what happens during Island Raid when the two biggest alliances hit each other. Well, the three biggest alliances hit each other. We're packing a bunch of people in this. So know that I will stream it regardless of what happens, and I'm very excited for all of this. But with that, I will leave it here. This is Mr. Brain, your friendly neighborhood gaming dad, signing off.